We're at Lurong, which lies at the entrance of the Yading Nature Reserve. We've just gotten off that huge kind of shuttle bus, and now we have to make the rest of the way by horse. Or if you can walk up there as well, but I don't think my body's up for it.
It's 80 RMB per single trip by mule, and while you can walk all the way up to the main congregation area, the mule ride will save you some much needed time and energy. Something you'll need if you want to see all the sights further inside the reserve.
So we've arrived at a bit of a pit stop here, and from here you can take a shuttle bus that will lead you up to the Lurong Pastures over there, but our destination is actually the Chonggu Temple over there, where everyone comes to pray before they visit the 3 sacred peaks. If you do come here, I would advise you to bring some food because there are no restaurants here.
If the weather is good, the Chonggu Plains affords a superb view of the sacred peaks of Xiannai and Xianodoji, the Bodhisattva of Wrath. Originally founded some 700 years ago, the Chonggu Lamasery is the starting point of the Kora, or pilgrimage, around these sacred mountains. Tibetan Buddhists believe 1 Kora around the peaks is equivalent to reciting the Om Mani Padme Hum mantra 100 million times, and after 3 Koras, all of their wishes will be fulfilled.
In 1928, Joseph Rock visited Chonggu Lamasery and stayed here for 3 days. On the 2nd floor of this Lamasery, he described the view of the peaceful Yading village and also the valley below as well.
From Chonggu Lamasery, it's about a 40-minute hike to Pearl Lake, which gives arguably the best view of Xiannai. This peak is said to be the incarnation of Avalokiteshvara, otherwise known as Guanyin, the Bodhisattva of compassion, and also the patron deity of Tibetans.
We're not far now, only 150 meters away from Pearl Lake, and I've got Xiannai in front of me and golden trees to the left. This is brilliant.
It seemed as if Xiannai had been guiding us ever since we entered Yading, and now we had finally arrived at its base.
This is so beautiful. I can't believe how lucky we are. Even this morning we could only see Xiannai through a small gap in the clouds, and now the sun is out, the sky is clear, and you can see Xiannai in its full glory, and you've got the emerald coloured Pearl Lake at its foot. You can even see the reflection in the waters. They say that only the really pious can see Xiannai in its full glory.
It'd been snowing heavily for the 2 days before we arrived, so you can imagine how lucky we were to see Xiannai so clearly. There's a saying for Xiannai that goes, "Only visit me when my body is white, and should my body turn to black, visit me no more." A strong reminder that these kinds of places can only exist with proper conservation. It's our 2nd day here, and the weather seems to have improved as the sacred peaks revealed themselves in the morning. Legend has it that when Padmasambhava was invited to spread Buddhism in Tibet in the 8th century, he projected his divine light onto the mountain range here and named many peaks and lakes after Buddhist figures, the most important of which are the 3 sacred peaks. We've seen 2 of them already, and we'll finally get to see the last one today.
Alright guys, our shuttle bus is here. Let's go to the Lurong Pastures. 哎，你好，我坐这儿了啊。哎，好，呀，走。Alright guys, see you in a bit.
Our destination today is the Milk Lake. It's nestled high up between the 3 sacred peaks, and is one of the most difficult places to reach in Yading. Just remember, if you want to go there, do set out early, as it is a pretty long trek.
In James Hilton's Lost Horizon, he talked about the Shangri-La, a lost valley, and this really feels like it. We've got a road that's kind of paved through, but everything else, personally, for me, this is Shangri-La. Hey. 有没有？哪边？哪边？最右边的，最右边的。
You see?
就刚出来的高先生。Guys, that's Yangmayong. This is the first time we've seen the sacred peak of Yangmayong. In Tibetan, these three sacred peaks, they're called Kongka Risam Gongba, I think. And Kongka Risam Gongba, I got it right. And it means the three sacred protective mountains that snow will never melt on. And you can see on Yangmayong, the Bodhisattva of Manjushri, that there's no actual rock that appears through the mountain. It's completely covered by snow.
In some ways, Yangmayong almost seemed like a perfect representation of Manjushri, the Bodhisattva of wisdom. Its sharp and clearly defined peak looks like a sword thrust into the heavens and piercing the clouds. And if you then look at statues of Manjushri, you'll always see he's holding a flaming sword that represents transcendent wisdom, cutting through clouds of ignorance.
Alright guys, we're at Lurong Pastures, and I didn't expect it to be this snowy, but this should have, people should be showing their yaks around. The yaks should be grazing around these pastures. We're finally here!
Yaks really do come here to graze, but you have to wait until summer when these plains become verdant pastures. This place is also the first point at which all of the three sacred peaks can be viewed, and it's from here that you can hire mules to take you up to Milk Lake.
Right now, we're in the Lurong Pastures where the altitude is around 3,000 meters, and we're heading for Milk Lake, which is about 4,000 meters above sea level, so around a 1,000 meter difference. And right now, riding on this horse and walking into the mountain valley, I really do feel like Joseph Rock as he explored the valley of Shangri-La.
It is quite expensive to go up by mule, and a round trip will set you back around 300 RMB. But it does mean that it will take you just 1.5 hours to reach Milk Lake, as opposed to more than 4 hours by foot. It's a pretty tiring climb, so if you do decide to take the easier route, be sure to arrive early, as only 90 people per day can go up by mule. For an additional fee, you can also ask the wranglers to help you carry your bags.
So like I said earlier, this road really isn't very easy to go up, and we've had to get off our horses because bloody hell! Because the horses can't carry us over this stretch of muddy water.
As you climb up, the trail becomes tougher and tougher. Our path basically takes us across muddy plains, over exposed boulders, and then onto slippery rock surfaces that we had to clamber over. Here, a 10-minute mule ride is basically equivalent to half an hour of walking.
Oh my god. I don't think we're even well, we're probably 3/4 of the way there, but this place is absolutely gorgeous. I'm sweating like a pig, and my head is really throbbing. My heart feels like it's in my mouth. But just look around you, man, just look around you. Have you ever seen something like this?
I've never climbed a path as beautiful as this, and it felt like we were exploring an unknown part of the Himalayas. The way up to Milk Lake is not easy, but nothing beats the feeling of finally reaching the top after such a tiring trek.
I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I'm absolutely caked in mud. Look at my shoes. Look at my shoes. Look at my trousers. And my fool earlier caked my bum in mud. But honestly, who cares? Our journey took a little over 1 hour, and it was quite possibly the best climb I've ever had. And now we've arrived at our destination. Over there, what you can see, the lake over there, the one that's shimmering in the sun, is the Milk Lake that we've been looking for. This is like It's like a mountain oasis. It's absolutely incredible.
We must thank our wranglers, as not only did they take responsibility for us, our mules and our bags, but they're also in charge of keeping this place as pristine as it is. As much as the locals want tourists to climb up to Milk Lake, it's still a sacred place to them, so make sure not to disturb the surroundings, and remember, take all your litter with you.
We're nestled in between the Konkari Gomba, the 3 sacred peaks, and behind me, this is the sacred peak of Shenaru. Over there, the sacred peak of Shenadoji, and over there, the sacred peak of Yangmayo. And right in front of me here is the sacred lake of Milk Lake. This feels like a mountain oasis.
Milk Lake receives its water from the glacier running off Yangmaiyong. It gets its name from the reflections of snow-capped peaks on its surface, which turn the edges of the lake milky white.
It's hard to describe this feeling, but nestled here between the sacred mountains and standing next to this tranquil lake, I feel some kind of spiritual fulfillment. It sounds a bit cliche to say it, but I really do. And my one regret is that we were never able this time round to climb up to the 5-coloured lake. That will take about another 30 minutes and requires us to climb over Shenaru, the sacred peak of Shenaru. If you come here, I highly recommend you go there, because I've been told and I've read that it's absolutely amazing there as well.
I was once told that to understand Yading is to understand compassion, wisdom and bravery. Although I can hardly say I've come away as a new person, this place has definitely moved and inspired me. Perhaps it's the sheer magnificence of nature, or maybe it's something a lot more spiritual. But here in Yading, you definitely come away with your soul cleansed.
After so long, after walking for so much, I feel I have finally found my Shangri-La. Standing here with the wind blowing against my face and the sun setting over the horizon, I feel that this is really my Shangri-La. I'm Taran, and we'll see you next time on Travelogue.